Last Sunday, the Baltimore Colts watched their parade get rained on once again as the Miami Dolphins had the hometown team shut out for nearly 57 minutes before Mike Pagel hit number 80, Raymond Butler, for a touchdown. In this game, the Pagel-Butler connection was the calm after the storm, a storm engineered by Miami rookie quarterback Dan Marino, who reaffirmed his status as the NFL's newest long bomb threat with this 64-yarder to Mark Duper, number 85. Marino entered the contest as the AFC's top-ranked passer, and he has obviously taken to the starting signal caller's role like a duck takes to water. Against the Colts, he threw scoring passes to Duper and number 89, Nat Moore. The Dolphins' 21-7 victory gave them a share of first place in the AFC East, and the fact that Miami now boasts a confident and effective young quarterback is enough to dampen the hopes of the division's other contenders. Things are always slippery in Washington, D.C., but last week you could blame the weather instead of the politicians. While the Redskins firmly grasped the football, the visiting Detroit Lions unveiled some rather unconventional methods of handling the old pigskin. Gary Danielson's 2-yard set shot to Ulysses Norris, number 80, came long after the Lions had lost their grip on a contest in which the Washington defense had managed to let Precious Little slip away. The Redskins registered 5 sacks, while the Washington offense found numerous ways to compensate for the absence of John Riggins, one of the most effective being an 84-yard catch and run by Alvin Garrett, number 89. Joe Theismann inaugurated the 38-17 Redskins romp with a touchdown pass to number 81, Art Monk. Washington head coach Joe Gibbs has his high-scoring Skins making waves in the NFC East with a 6-2 mark that places them one game behind the division-leading Dallas Cowboys, who last Sunday night came out swinging against the L.A. Raiders at Texas Stadium. The Cowboys and Raiders flailed away at each other in a contest that was full of two-fisted action, as well as a sucker punch of an option play that saw Dallas's Ron Springs, number 20, throw a touchdown pass to quarterback Danny White, number 11. But the Raiders are not a team that can be kept lying on the canvas for long. They struck back behind reserve running back Frank Hawkins, number 27. Hawkins rushed for over 100 yards and one score, and also caught a scoring pass from newly installed starter Mark Wilson, who burned the Dallas defense for 3 touchdown passes and over 300 aerial yards. But this was a day in which both defensive units proved to be highly flammable, and the Raiders were seared by 2 Danny White scoring throws, including one to number 86, Butch Johnson. In the first half alone, both teams combined for 55 points, and at the end of 3 periods, L.A. led 34-24. But White's 17-yard fourth-quarter strike to Doug Donnelly, number 83, cut the Raiders' advantage to 3. On the Raiders' next possession, big play blitzing specialist Anthony Dickerson, number 51, helped stake the Cowboys to a 38-34 lead. Dickerson's sack forced a fumble that number 58 Mike Hagman recovered for a touchdown, and it appeared that the Raiders were finally down for the count. But with just 20 seconds remaining to play, Chris Barr kicked a field goal that proved to be the knockout blow in a 40-38 LA win that knocked Dallas from the unbeaten ranks. But the Cowboys still looked fit enough to deserve a rematch with the Raiders, and it might just take place in Super Bowl 18. Sunday in Philadelphia dawned as a day better suited to the needs of duck hunters rather than those of eagles and bears hunting each other. A day-long douse of rain, the old adage says, is an equalizing factor in football. And it proved true in Veterans Stadium as Philadelphia and Chicago seemed equally inefficient at overcoming mountains of woe the wet weather brought. But it was the Bears from the Windy City who took a firm foothold in the off-going. Their defense sacked Ron Jaworski 4 times, while the offense took a cue from the field of horse racing, where the key to winning on a sloppy track is to surge ahead early and splash your way to victory. The Bears did just that. The only touchdown of the game came in the first quarter on this Vince Evans to Dennis McKinnon 20-yard pass. The rains never held up, but the Bears' lead did. They won 7-6. While the day-long rain helped bring an end to Chicago's 2-game victory drought, sun-drenched skies in Denver did little to enhance the chances of the San Diego Chargers, a team already awash in a flood of backfield injuries. Backup quarterback Ed Luther probably wished he had sat out the game along with Dan Fouts and Chuck Muncie, as Denver picked off 3 of his well-intended passes. The stubborn Bronco defense, already the NFL's stingiest in points allowed, was led by number 53 Randy Gradishar, who blocked every avenue of San Diego's very much grounded attack. For the first time in 4 years, the Chargers failed to score a touchdown. And for the 3rd week in a row, Bronco quarterback Steve DeBerg continued to perform with a cool efficiency. DeBerg's nifty bit of sidestepping set up this 30-yard scoring strike to number 80 Rick Upchurch, the only points Denver needed en route to a 14-6 victory. Under the Kingdome in Seattle, Franco Harris continued his relentless assault on Jim Brown and the NFL record books. Franco rushed for 132 yards, including this 9-yard touchdown, fueling a Pittsburgh offense that forged out to a 24-0 halftime lead. But then the Steelers suddenly succumbed to a second-half Seattle blitzkrieg. Or Blitzkrieg, as in Dave Craig, the Seahawks sub-quarterback who spelled a struggling Jim Zorn in the 3rd period. Craig promptly hit on touchdown passes of 21 yards to Steve Largent and 26 yards to number 85, Paul Johns. But Pittsburgh was not about to let this victory fall from their grasp. They won 27-21 as turnovers and timely plays on defense once again came to their rescue. They do it on fumbles. They do it with interceptions. They even win by simply stealing the football. Somehow this year's Steeler team has found the right formula for success. Unlike the winless AFC Central cellar-dwelling Houston Oilers, who seem to have run out of ideas on how to put some punch into their game plan. Against Kansas City, though, Houston did manage to show some good early fight just before their inevitable cave-in occurred. The Oilers staked themselves to an early 7-0 lead, but as it happens 7 other times this year, Houston played like a team more interested in securing the number 1 draft pick than securing a single win. Bill Kenny completed 25 of 43 passes for 243 yards, including this 4-yard touchdown to number 81, Willie Scott. But it ultimately took a Nick Lowry field goal 7 minutes into overtime to pull this one out for the Chiefs, who now stand at 4-4. As for the luckless Oilers, it was their 2nd overtime loss of the season, and after 15 consecutive defeats, they just might be ready to throw in the towel. Winless after 8 weeks, it seems the Tampa Bay Buccaneers have gone from worst to first, then back again. It was the same old story against New Orleans last Sunday. The breaks the Bucs needed eluded them, while the ones that counted, like the 4 interceptions, including the 69-yard touchdown return by Jeremiah Castile, just simply weren't enough. Whatever their opportunistic defense earned Tampa Bay, their bumbling offense gave right back. New Orleans rallied from a 14-point deficit. This 70-yard interception return by Bobby Johnson, number 34, and a 12-yard Ken Stabler to Eugene Goodlow touchdown pass lifted the Saints to a 24-21 victory. While the Bucs continued to fall in the NFC Central, the Green Bay Packers were hoping to soar over the division-leading Minnesota Vikings. The best way to stop Green Bay's high flyers like James Lofton, number 80, is to keep the ball out of their hands and in the hands of quarterback Lynn Dickey, something Viking defensive tackle Doug Martin did much of the day. Number 79 registered 6 of Minnesota's 7 sacks and sent Green Bay's high-scoring offense crashing to earth in his tailwinds. In recent weeks, the Vikings have rediscovered the running game. Last Sunday, Ted Brown's 179 yards rushing kept the ball away from the Packers, while plays like this touchdown pass from Steve Dills to Sammy White kept Minnesota in the lead. But it wasn't until overtime that Minnesota finally won it, as a field goal secured a 20-17 Viking victory. In soggy Shea Stadium last Sunday, the Jets let another one slip away, though it didn't start out that way. Bruce Harper's 78-yard run spearheaded what seemed to be a rout with little more than a quarter left to play. However, the storm suddenly changed its course when some white shoes lightning struck New York. Number 81, Billy Johnson, was doing his rubber legs dance long before Mark Gastineau. Obviously, the Jets didn't appreciate his dance form, but led by this Gene Kelly in cleats, the Falcons were soon singing in the rain and victory bound. Led by their 31-year-old one-man chorus line who scored twice and set up another touchdown, the Falcons exploded for 27 points and took the lead for good on a 32-yard field goal by Mick Luckhurst with barely 3 minutes remaining. The fancy dancing Falcons, who had exhausted every known method for losing football games the past month, found a simple way for winning one. It was Billy White Shoes Johnson 27, the New York Jets 21. athlete imposters have become a major problem in professional sports these days. This fella's glasses gave him away. But Brian Sipes' perfect pass to Ozzie Newsome left no doubt he was the real McCoy. While Sipes' 3 scoring tosses gave the Browns a 21-14 fourth quarter lead, there were moments when it seemed someone else had slipped on number 17. Sipe was intercepted twice, the second errant pass costing Cleveland the game. 15-year veteran Ken Riley latched onto his 50th career interception to give the Bengals a 28-21 come-from-behind win. While you can always count on an exciting contest between these two AFC Central Division rivals, in Foxborough, who were New England and Buffalo trying to kid? Playing against one of the conference's worst running defenses, the Patriots' strategy was obvious. The Bills couldn't stop running back Tony Collins, who rushed for 147 yards and 1 score. But then again, the Bills couldn't stop much of anything last Sunday. Steve Grogan's 2 touchdown passes to Derek Ramsey, number 88, helped boost the Patriots to a 31-0 win. The victory evened New England's record at 4-4, leaving them only 1 game behind Buffalo and Miami in the AFC East. No, we haven't interrupted our regularly scheduled programming to bring you European football. This is rugby, Southern California style. And although it has its appeal, any red-blooded American would much rather watch a rip-roaring NFL shootout between 2 of the fastest guns in the West, San Francisco's Joe Montana and Los Angeles' Vince Ferragamo. Ferragamo drew first and fired 3 first-half touchdowns, one to James McDonald, number 83, and another to running back Eric Dickerson. The rookie sensation scored twice on the day, increasing his league-leading touchdown total to 14. Dickerson has proven so reliable delivering the ball into the end zone, he's become the NFL's answer to Federal Express. While Montana's deliveries are limited to air freight, they are equally dependable, thanks to careful handlers like Freddie Solomon, number 88. Solomon's controversial catch was ruled good as Montana kept the stingy Ram defense on the run. In a contest in which both teams exchanged touchdowns as well as unpleasantries, the Rams took a 35-24 fourth quarter lead on Ferragamo's 5th touchdown pass of the afternoon. Unfortunately for Los Angeles, while Ferragamo had emptied his chambers, Montana was busy reloading, and he fired a 46-yarder to Dwight Clark, number 87. Trailing by only 4 points, the 49ers had defied the odds in their comeback, but they defied science when they transformed a prize ram into a goat. Number 76, Dwayne Board, stripped the ball from Ferragamo in the end zone and recovered it for a touchdown. San Francisco added another score to clinch a 45-35 win, keeping them 1 game up on the Rams and Saints in the NFC West. After 8 weeks with only 2 NFL teams, the winless Bucks and Oilers out of contention, it appears certain the second half of the '83 season will be a dandy one.